Did you know that over 5,000 companies are over 200 century old? This was in a report done by the Bank of Korea in 2008. It's very interesting because we know that 1 in 5 businesses shut down in the first year, and in 5 years, most of them are non-existent. So to see companies that scale through not just decades, but centuries is something to look into and see how your organization can prepare, set structures, and ensure that it scales through multiple generations and long-term success. My name is Ibukun Oshoba. I'm a lawyer, I'm a corporate governance expert, and this series is focusing on 100-year-old businesses. We're going to start in Japan. Japan has the highest number of century-old businesses. This is because of the structure they run in their country. Of course, a lot of transparency, a lot of family-owned businesses are seen there. Let's start with Kongo Gumi. Now, Kongo Gumi is said to be the oldest company in the world. It was established in 578 AD and started out in the construction industry. The founder, Shigemitsu Kongo, was invited from Korea to build Buddhist temples. At the time, there were these specialized techniques of building wooden structures without nails or any of the things, and so the prince invited quite a few construction workers to help. And this started out a family business in carpentry. Over the years, of course, the trajectory in Japan is for your heir to take over your business. And so this went down many generations, almost 40 generations actually. By 2006, the company Kongo Gumi had a lot of debt brought on by the decline of the real estate bubble in Japan. And so the company was acquired by Takamatsu Construction Company. Now in 2005, it's recorded that the company's revenue was over $70 million. And so we see that this is not just a long-standing business, but a profitable business over a long time. So the last family heir for Kongo Gumi is Matakasu Kongo Gumi. Now he had to hand over the business, of course, like I said, to a new company, and the company is now a subsidiary of Takamatsu Construction Company. Now it had to be restructured, of course, for it to take shape. However, something to note is how the company scaled through World War II. They had to actually go from a construction company to a company that actually dealt in coffins. So one thing we see in the governance structure is the adaptability of their business. First was that they're in an industry that is ongoing construction. Everybody needs a house. In Japan at the time, Buddhist temples were a thing, and the know-how to build wooden structures. By the time concrete was introduced, they adapted. In fact, it's said that once one of the heirs had died, his wife took over the business, which is another adaptability for the organization. They moved not just from tradition and culture of heir inheritance, they also allowed merit in terms of now our daughter-in-law can actually run this organization. The business also has a lot of Japanese touch in terms of adaptability, transparency. So although it started out as a family business and it grew into a stock company and now it's a subsidiary, what the company has kept on is adaptability. So first is that the stakeholders are carried along. It's not just that the profit of the owners are held high. No, the products that they offer were in good shape. So they adapted from only wooden structures to concrete structures. They adapted even in the digital age to ensuring that their construction techniques were able to flow. They moved into coffins when it was time. They moved management structures as well. In Japan, you're expected to not just carry along your shareholders, but stakeholders such as your employees. So the business, you'd see a lot of the staff being, photographed, being carried on in what the company is actually doing and not just someone at the top. I'm interested to know what differences could have happened. So for example, in the West, we have a lot of independence of the board, and this was introduced quite early. But in Japan, most businesses are run by the executive and the owners. And recently, they've tried to introduce independent directors, or the concept of it. But for most of the running years of Kongo Gumi, the management and the executive were one. That's the board and the executives were one. And they made decisions that were quick. They made decisions that ensured that they went through wars, through plagues, through depressions. And of course, in the end, debt from real estate bubble, I think that caught on to a lot of people. And it also took this business down. Now, we've learned or seen adaptability. We've seen board structure and how important it is to ensure that there's a succession flow, which Japanese businesses ensure they have. We also see governance at the core. So transparency, fairness, accountability, these things are very strong ethics in Japan. And of course, Kongo Gumi ensured to work with that. And we also see that when we're thinking about century-old businesses, our mind shouldn't go to, oh, because I start selling a pen, I must always sell a pen. It's that these businesses start with a product and adapt to their market as they grow. I'm interested to hear in the comments what you think. How is your business looking to survive the next 20, 30 years to ensure that it's over 100-year-old, over 2 generations of either your family or your country experiences it? And I'd also like to know what you think about the decline of this particular business, and of course, what you would have done differently. Anyway, till our next episode where we talk about a different organization that has survived wars, depressions, and so many things. See you next time.